just say, I receive muscle monitoring.
I receive muscle monitoring.
Receive kinesiology.
I receive kinesiology.
I work with Guy.
I work with Guy.
I receive change.
I receive change.
In alignment with the highest potential.
In alignment with the highest potential.
Cool. So I could do the motivation balance. So that's the end of the triple heater meridian, and then GV26. Put that in circuit. It's not. Then I can check your outcomes, portfolios, and sectors. So it's showing the outcomes. So your body's going to show me an outcome that wants that correction. So then we've got outcome 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4. So do you think this one's the best, or have you done the outcome evolution version of it? Would you like to do this one or the evolution one? Because it might have changed a bit.
I think that's the one I haven't done.
Alrighty. I have a passive income that enables me to have financial freedom, to live where I want to live, travel where I want to travel, and when I want to travel where and when I want to. Pursue my interests and passions to enable me to enjoy life to the fullest. Okay. So then it's got a few elements. So income, which is not, which occurs without work. It sounds like financial freedom, and then which being able to travel where and when. So it sounds a very freedom-based thing because of the ability to pursue interests and passions. Anything else you can think of, like its elements?
Maybe just being specific about what passions that I want to focus on.
Okay. So,
music.
Music.
And business ideas and stuff. So, yeah, just business ideas.
Explore business ideas. So having the time and resources to explore them. So you don't feel at the moment you have the resources or time to explore business options? Yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could I ask you, do you have any ideas of where that passive income would come from?
I have some investment, so that's probably what I'm thinking of, yeah.
So, and then in order, but to have it as a goal, it would seem that your investments probably aren't at a level where they could derive you enough to be completely passive at this point.
Not yet, no.
So that would mean you just have to keep working to a point where that got big enough to give you financial freedom. Do you have any ideas of how you could accelerate your income to be able to get there quicker? Because you'd probably like to get there sooner rather than later, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Because you do have business ideas. So then business ideas could lead you to a passive income potentially.
That's what I'm thinking. And obviously kinesiology is part of that, but I'm not ready to go out and do that just yet. So I'm thinking exploring other options
Mm-hmm.
as well to replace my job.
And so you've got options to explore.
Mm.
Have you covered those in any of the outcomes?
No. I haven't gone down that route yet to specify.
Is there anything holding you back going to go down that route?
No, motivation? No, I don't know.
So you don't know what's holding you back, or you do? And
I don't really know. I'm not sure what's going on at the moment, but maybe I just feel like there's too much going on, and I need to, like you said, let go of some things.
like cut back on some things?
Yeah.
Does it always feel like there's too much going on for you? Is that like a pattern, or is it just now?
It's a pattern.
It's a pattern. And so, with too much going on, there's not enough time to explore business ideas to then boost your income and investments to be able to have passive income. So what do you think you'd need to do in order to accelerate, exploring business ideas, to boost your income, to scale up your investments, to then actuate a passive income? What would you need to do? So one of them you said
Get clarity.
was rationalise, which means cut back on non-essential things that are taking up time and resources.
Yeah.
So that would be, and that would be less going on, which you said is a bit of a pattern.
And time management's a big one for me too.
Okay. Time management. So if you manage your time better, you might be able to create more time to explore business ideas. And then you see clarity. How would you go about acquiring clarity?
Taking some time to self-reflect and plan a bit more. Like today was helpful, but just definitely do more of that. Get really clear on where I'm going, what I want and what I don't want. And just cut out some things that I don't want to focus on.
Mm-hmm. And are you aware from today's or the week's activity of things you want to cut out specifically?
Not yet. I find that difficult to cut things out.
So you tend to take on more things,
Yep.
and then don't cut things out. Okay, so that sounds like a big thing. Rationalise on non-essential things is like a challenge for you.
Yeah.
And do you know why it might be a challenge for you?
I find it hard to let go of things. Just I want to do everything. I feel like I want to do everything, and there's so many things I want to do, but I feel like I can't do it all at once, so I get frustrated.
So part of you wants to do it all at once.
Yeah.
Is that a little bit like the example I was saying about want to explore lots of options, but not willing to like let go of them so that you can invest completely into one and commit to something? You think commitment could be an issue? Like committing to a pathway?
I think so.
It's like you've done the course but you're not ready to commit to being a practitioner?
Maybe. I think
Maybe.
I'm committed to doing it. Like kinesiology, for example, I'm committed to finishing it. I just don't feel like I'm ready to jump into that as a career just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, just exploring other options to help me get to that point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so letting go of stuff and then want to do everything. And then get frustrated. So that could be diluted attention potentially, like from what we were talking about before. The attention's like on a lot of different things, and it's not focused enough on one thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Rightio. So that's in relation to that outcome, all the elements. So then we'll just sort of muscle test them, see which ones show stress, and then which one's a priority. So clarity, investment, rationalise. So we're cutting back. So just say I cut back on projects and interests
I cut back on projects and interests
that no longer serve my highest potential.
that no longer serve my highest potential.
So that's the third stage. Oh, sorry, second stage. Part. And I'll check priorities. That's a priority. How did it feel saying that?
Challenging.
And did you have sensations in your body?
Yeah, I felt a bit tense.
Tense. So we've got that in circuit, and I'll get you to say, in relation to I cut back on projects and interests that no longer serve my highest potential, I'll get you to say I want to.
Want to.
Don't want to.
Don't want to.
So that's in conflict. So part of you wants to, part of you doesn't want to. Can you relate to that?
Yes.
I think I can.
I think I can.
I think I can't.
Think I can't.
Feel I can.
Feel I can.
I'm hypertonic. I feel I can't.
I feel I can't.
I believe I can.
I believe I can.
I believe I can.
Believe I can.
Believe I can't.
Believe I can't.
I know I can.
I know I can.
No, I can't.
I know I can't.
It's safe for me.
It's safe for me.
It's safe for me.
It is safe for
It's
me.
not safe for me.
It's not safe.
I accept the consequences.
Accept the consequences.
I don't accept the consequences.
Don't accept the consequences.
I'm worthy.
I'm worthy.
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy.
Take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I don't take
I
responsibility.
don't take responsibility.
Between part. Cool. So, do you feel like your survival systems are active? You wouldn't say it to a normal client, but because you studied kinesiology, I'm just saying
I
it.
do feel quite activated at the moment.
Okay, so I could check survival, just in case he runs away. So I'll just check the DSS, so that's survival switching, deep survival switching, double deep survival switching. Touch third stage, chakra, 13th chakra. So that's like a paradigm shift for you to move from opening up new projects all the time and not rationalising them to cutting back on projects that aren't serving your highest potential, that would be put into a completely new paradigm.
I feel very uncomfortable at the moment.
Yeah, but uncomfortable is my middle name.
I feel very shaky for some reason.
Yeah, cool. It's good. It means we're sitting on a release point. So Theric's coming up.
Keep shaking.
It's good. It's like you're letting go. It's part of the letting go process. So often it's your body, when your body's trembling like that, it's you releasing fear out of your body. Just try and relax your exhale as you're breathing. So top, bottom. Things going apart. Thanks. And then I'll go into the amygdala. Relax. Left amygdala. Frustration. Just when you breathe out, just try and be really soft and relaxed as you breathe out. So you're not forcing it out, just just relax as much as you can as you exhale. Okay. Breathing out really gently. Excellent. Really good. So that's frustration. Reward. Relaxing that exhale. Doing really well. Physiology. Just say safety. Danger. Threat. Relaxing the exhale. Just breathe gently. Keep relaxing into the discomfort. It's only energy, so it's just energy that wants to move. All you need to do is, can't hurt you, it's just passing through you. Just relax your exhale. Soften the exhale. Don't force it, soften it. That's it. A soft, gentle exhale. And then hold. And just say gratification, opportunity. Pleasure. Relaxing exhale. Excellent. Let's go apart. Oops. These are all. I'm missing serotonin. They're all mixed up. Someone's been fucking with my vials. They're all over the place.
Need serotonin?
I don't need serotonin. They're just all mixed up.
Yeah, okay. Please serotonin.
So people have obviously been fucking with them. The CCTV will tell me who. You're letting fear go. Just breathing. Just try and relax your exhale as much as possible. These used to be across that way.
Yeah.
Now they're down this way.
Okay, let's sort them out.
That's the thing. I don't know. Thanks. Put the thalamus on.
Is this normal?
It's good. You let it go a lot. It's a lot of emotion and energy stored in your body that wants to release around the topic. So this is the energy behind the reason why you keep adding projects but not rationalising them. Because if you start rationalising, this is what you feel, and so then you keep putting projects on so that you don't feel what you're feeling now. So this is kind of what's been controlling you to run your life in a particular way. Does that make sense? And so you've just got a chance to let it go now so it doesn't control you anymore. Just as you breathe, just try and relax as much as possible, and then just let the sensations pass through you as best as possible. Doing really well. Whole PAG, hypothalamus is showing. Thank you so much. Is it the brain one? Could you just pass the brain one?
This one? Which one do you want?
My one, if it's not finished. That's just the class one, that one. That's my one. That's it.
Which one do you want?
The brain one. That's
This one?
that one. That's the brain one. That one's the class one that people are supposed to use if they need help, but this is sort of my brain one. Hypothalamus, PTM path. Just tap it in. So neuro. Hypothalamus. Stomach 1, pericardium 3, CV14. CV14, pericardium 3, stomach 1, rage. So we do that really softly, gently. And put it back on. So diencephalon. That's all for the hypothalamus. Feels like something's eased a bit. PTM part. And then PAG, brainstem, hippocampus. This one's a glial cell. Oligodendrocytes. PAG. nucleus accumbens. Feet together apart. So it's lots to do with motivation. So glutamate. GABA. Glutamate. Dopamine. Ventral tegmental area. Encoding motor programs. Feet together apart. Midbrain. Midbrain. Heart 4. And then dopamine. Frontal cortex. This used to have like lobes in it.
Yeah. And up there.
I found one in the MPA
Yeah,
one.
there's a frontal one there. But
Very
there's,
cool.
there's 5 of them. Check that one.
That was in that one.
I'll go through them all properly.
Thanks. Frustration. Is it easing a bit?
A little bit.
Maybe. Relax the exhale. So, more information. Auric body. Neutral. Attachment. Karma. Attachment. Attachment. 4 to 3. Being from another dimension. 4 to 3.5, 3.5 to 3. Being from another dimension. So something happened at 3.5 to 3. Something plugged into you. I'm going to clear it. Is that okay? Please go apart. Yeah, thanks. Just say, I enact my rights from the God self I am.
I enact my rights from the God self I am.
I enact my rights across all levels, aspects and dimensions of my being. I enact my
I enact
rights,
my rights across all
levels, aspects and dimensions of my being.
dimensions of my being.
I enact my rights across all timelines, soul extensions and situations.
I enact my rights across all timelines, situations, and soul sessions.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to my own self-determination.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to my own self-determination.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to my own sanity.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to my own sanity.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to my own freedom of choice.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to my own freedom of choice.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to end games.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to end games.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to start new games.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to start new games.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to my own sovereign domain.
I acknowledge and exercise the right to my own sovereign domain.
I build allegiances with beings
I build allegiance with beings
that support my own sovereign domain.
that support my own sovereign domain.
I support and enable others to enact their own sovereign domain.
I support and enable others to enact their own sovereign domain.
I rescind all choices,
I rescind all choices,
decisions,
decisions,
promises, contracts,
contracts,
agreements,
agreements,
obligations, vows, oaths, covenants,
covenants,
and such like,
and such like,
that no longer serve my highest
no
potential.
longer serve my highest potential.
So in relation to that statement, I'll get you to say, I want to,
I want to,
don't want to,
don't want to,
think I can,
think I can,
I feel I can,
feel I can,
feel I
feel
can't,
I can't,
believe I can,
believe I can,
believe I can't,
believe I can't,
I know I can,
I know I can,
I know I can't,
I know I can't.
it's safe for me,
It is safe for me.
it's not safe,
It's not safe.
I accept the consequences,
Accept the consequences.
don't accept the consequences,
Consequences.
I'm worthy,
I'm worthy.
take responsibility,
I take responsibility.
don't take responsibility.
I don't take responsibility.
Heart meridian. So it's coherence, that's like superstition. So superstition. It's like the powers outside of me. Correction or information. Yes, there's the balance complete. So just check attachment. Any more? Is it 3 to 2.5? Being from a dimension. And then I'll see if it's cleared that. So I'll just get you to say, I cut back on projects
I cut back on projects
and interests
and interests
that no longer serve my highest potential.
that no longer serve my highest potential.
And then just say, I want to,
Want to,
don't want to,
don't want to,
think I can,
think I can,
think I can't,
think I can't,
feel I can,
feel I can,
feel I can't,
feel I can't,
believe I can,
believe I can,
believe I can't,
believe I can't,
I know I can,
I know I can,
no I can't,
I can't,
it's safe for me,
it's safe for me,
it's not
it's
safe,
not safe,
I accept the consequences,
accept the consequences,
I accept the consequences,
I don't accept the consequences,
I'm worthy.
I'm worthy.
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy.
Take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I don't take responsibility.
I don't take responsibility.
Yes, give no is balance complete. So I might just check figure 8s because it looks like he's had a lot going on, just to help integrate that process. So just check. Does that feel settling?
Yes.
I'll just flip you over. Does that feel settling? And then I'll flip you back. So I'll just check, because the goal was to do the motivation balance, whether that's been fully integrated or not. I'll just check. So I'll just put the motivation balance back on. So when I guess when I did this activation and it came up with, he's got a lot going on, and he said he needs to cut back on things, and that became sort of like the focus of the balance, and it kind of went into that area of the motivation balance. And then when it goes into dopamine and things like that in the brain, it's going into the seeking systems as well. So it sort of covered both of those indirectly, even though we didn't actually put the format on. But just the way it unfolded sort of dug into them naturally. How are you feeling?
So much better.
Better than before you started, or better than during the balance?
So at the beginning, I knew I needed it, so I put my hand up, but I was apprehensive. I don't know why, but I was, and then didn't expect that to happen. But I feel so much better now. So
Yeah, awesome.
yeah, obviously I'm not shaking crazily anymore.
Yeah.
So it's good.
So you feel lighter and freer.
I do.
Yeah,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
So you can see with time and practice, so then like with an outcome, so if I was going to give you an outcome now, he's running away. I don't blame him. I'd probably say, or just write a list of all your activities and interests that are current. I probably wouldn't say what to do with them. I'd just get him to write a list of all his activities and interests to present to the next thing. And then I might start talking to him about which ones would you be possibly willing to rationalise. But I'm frightened if I said to him, write down a list of activities and interests you're willing to rationalise, he might not come back. So I'd probably just say, just write down a list of all things you're doing. But I wouldn't say, just because of how loaded that topic is for him, but I wouldn't say, write down all the ones you want to get rid of. because it might activate him a bit much. So I just, and then we could maybe just talk about them at the front end of the next session. Because it sounds like that's underpinning a lot of stuff. Like he needs clarity to be able to think about how he's going to focus his energy, but he's got too many things going on to have that clarity. So the only way he's going to get clarity is to rationalise some of those things. And so he's obviously over the hump of the energy block around that, but it might take a couple more sessions to really kind of get the momentum to. So that's the content really for the coaching. So just in reflection, let's have a look quickly at is that what navigation page? What we get for navigation pane? Weird. So here's the macro framework. So complete coaching questionnaire. Make sure portfolios and sectors are all defined. There's a list of outcomes. At this point now, at the end, you've got more understanding of how to help develop the outcomes at the front end of the coaching program. Before it starts, because you've gone through that evolution process as well, and you got kind of more in touch with your own, and you saw people getting in touch with theirs. You do that to the best you can with them, but you'll notice some people you can really help go deeper into, and some people are just going to sit on the outside. It'll only be later on that they'll be able to drop into them. So you just need to be able to gauge the person. Sometimes they seem really dicky, and you want to change them, but the client's not going to go there, so you just got to work with them as they present, and then later on they're likely to kind of explore them more and start to metamorphosize them. And remember in the booklet on the outcomes, you've got clients who complete alone. Sometimes they don't do it. You give them the book and they don't do it. It's quite common that they don't. It's a bit confronting sometimes. They can't think of them. You know how it felt when you were doing them initially. It wasn't necessarily that easy. So they're going to be in a similar place. And then if they do something, that's good. And then you can redraft it with them on the day when they come in for the coaching if they've done it prior. So once you've got that, you might just do a survival balance or a DSS. If they're kind of, resilient and not overcharged, you might be able to do, an outcome or a portfolio sector. But that just getting all that down on paper can be activating for people. And if you just do a survival DSS and then give them an action plan of give them some sort of action, that can be useful. Session 2, review outcomes, discuss and answer questions, initiate balance from micro framework. So micro framework. For some reason the navigation stopped working. Here's the micro framework. So you're reviewing how they are from the last session, maybe looking at their outcomes and portfolios again just to refresh. Checking their action plan review, did they actually do something? If they didn't, you go into that and balance that first. Once that's addressed, then you go into the outcomes, portfolio sectors, whichever one indicates, choose a particular one, break it down into its elements like we did with Nick's just then, and then look at the different techniques and tools and just go into either looking at the logistics or balancing it with one of these tools or adding something else from your toolbox, correcting it, and then developing an action plan. And so at the end, at the end of the session, the action plan sits right at the front, so they'll have their first action plan for the first session, they'll have their second action plan for their second section, and the third one. And then with the action plan, try and make it something that they're doing, and check with them that it's doable. With everything you've got going on in your life, can you do it? And then just keep checking in with them that you're in agreement that it's doable. You're not pushing them beyond their capacity.
So at each session, are you always going to look for an outcome for a set?
You choose, because whatever their body wants. So it's all based on what their body wants, because it's like, do you need to address, because like the now prepares you for your future. So if your now's got like leaks in it, you want to fix those, which gives you a platform to then launch into your future. So sometimes it wants to look at what's not working in your present or what you're trying to create in the future as the priority stress. Good clarification. And then here you've got, and there could be that they might be doing multiple action plans. Like they might have one and then another one. So if they're moderate, you could quite easily do two. And they could build up over the coaching. And hopefully they're getting clearer and clearer and they're more capable. And then being really specific about frequencies and timelines in relation to them. So how often they need to do them, etc. And then in session 3, after the action plan review, there's the outcome evolution, which you had nice experience doing today. So you're going to drop them into more depth of understanding in their outcomes by, looking for the experience they're looking for, how it's evolving for them, is it still relevant, and how would I redefine it if I was going to redefine it. And then the last session, you got session 5. And then you're done. And you've got a performance assessment at the back. So here you've got an opportunity to rate the 0 to 10s of where they are. And then at the end, you can get them to re-rate the 0 to 10s of where they are. So you can look at if there's been any change in their perception of their own life. And then you're done. So ideally, you want to drive it about 2 weeks apart. You could go less, but that can be a bit too much. You could go more once or twice, but don't forget 2 weeks apart will run over about 10 weeks. So if you go 3 weeks apart, it could go 15 weeks. If you do 4 weeks apart, it'll go 20 weeks. So keeping it at 2 weeks apart max is like a good focus. Yep.
So if we do 5 sessions, 4 weeks we do the other 5 sessions, we don't overlap the other 3?
No. So what I want you to do is practice on each other, make sure you're 100% with it, get feedback from the trainers, maybe hand one in and get it marked before you do the next one. Bring it to them during it if you're not sure about anything. And then once you've done it, then you go on the underlings. And then you kind of can bring an underling in from one of the blocks behind you, preferably someone who hasn't had it done before. Most of them shouldn't have. So someone who's like a noob to it, who hasn't had it done. So then you're kind of like offering them some, support on their journey and their diploma. And then you're offering them good support because you're not practicing on them. Before we made it compulsory to finish the coaching on each other, before they did coaching on the underling, if I said, who got coached and 20 people put their hand up, it was a good experience. so by working on each other, find out they give each other feedback because you're both trying to know what's going on, and it'll give them a much better outcome if you don't start until you've actually. It's designed to accelerate an outcome. You both logistically and also when you pick your underling, make sure that they can actually complete it. So make sure that they're 100%. They're not, blasé about it. Because you don't want to get halfway through it, then they drop out, and then you have to find someone else.
So it's 20 weeks basically.
20 weeks of joy. You see how like with practice, you can really get into stuff. I was talking gently, but just by how cycle into what sense is activating in, and then just keep kind of gently cycling. It gets right on the issue, and then it all kind of spews out, bring the balance. And that's sort of where you want to get to as a practitioner. But it's good to see, but it takes time to develop that sort of skill. So I'd suggest doing one more now, doing the outcome, but maybe before you start, you might. Who's already mapped who they're doing? Put your hand up if you already know who you're doing. Put your hand up if you know who's balancing you, who's coaching you, and they're different. Yeah, they're not the same person. Okay. Who hasn't got? Who isn't coaching someone? Who isn't coaching someone? You're not. And who isn't being coached by anyone yet? Okay. So you're kind of on that. You're on. Okay. So Kirby. Is anyone else not here that should be here? So just Kirby. Oh, Hayley's not here. She'll have it all sorted. Yeah. Come on. She's probably halfway finished. Who else isn't here? Just Hayley and Kirby. So yeah, and Kirby lives like out on the other side of Toowoomba, doesn't she? She's Cooperi now, is she? Yeah. Camp Hill. Okay, that's good. She used to live on the other side of the Toowoomba range.
But she said she's been added to like a group chat to sort it out.
Yeah, so I'm coaching her, but she needs someone to coach.
So she could coach you.
So that's backwards. Yeah. No, Amy's coaching me. I don't have anyone to coach.
Okay. Well, it's easy enough to insert someone somewhere. Like if there's a break in the chain, someone might need to be pushed around a little bit in order to fit someone else in. But you've also been really good, like you've been really activated at different times. A lot of you have, but you've been really constructive and really kind to each other. And it doesn't always go that way. Some classes get nasty.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you do then?
We just.
What evil
No, but you guys have been really gentle with each other. It's really nice to see. So I'd just like to acknowledge that. And it's been a lot easier for us as trainers than it has in some years. So it's nice to see. Good on you. Because when you're activated, a lot of it's easy to fall into the pattern of projection, and you can start throwing your shit around. But everyone's been really good. They've been activated, and it's been their activation, and they've been feeling their feelings, expressing it, and everyone's been really supporting each other really beautifully. So it's really nice to see. Good on you. Would you agree? Yeah. hardly any, no cat fights. Or, yeah. So then, so just off you go. We'll do a group photo. The content's been covered. Don't be frightened to ask questions.